Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 12th round of WRL Season 6. This is of course the German Grand Prix in Hockenheim. We did an installation lap on super softs, but we fully intended to start the race on the soft compound tyre that you see here.
You've just put in the fastest lap. Good job.
We had provisional pole, but kartdude took pole position by the end of the session on some super softs with an emphatic lap, some half a second in front of the rest of the field. We were the first soft compound runner, and that would be key. I'd be happy with that after qualifying. So the Toro Rosso is on pole, and he has a big moment there, wheel spin. We had to slightly check up to avoid him, and he goes around the outside there at turn 1. Looks like Murph clipped a foam board there, back in third, and we're line astern as we approach turn 2. However, going down this long straight, there's an opportunity to slipstream the car in front. No DRS yet. It will be a DRS zone later in the race, but this could be an opportunity to take the lead on the first lap. kartdude defends to the inside. We have position 1 on the position marker there, but he positions his car very nicely and preserves his lead for now. As we follow him though, on lap 2, we're a lot closer than we were last time, and look at the slipstream effect. We're going to be in front before the braking zone. He tried to defend there, but it was not enough. And down the inside we go, and we're into the lead for the first time in the race. We do have HSV for company though in this battle, as I try and extend my lead with a couple of fastest laps. Does not quite work. We've dropped 4th position, but the three of us are still in a heavy battle. kartdude comes down the inside with DRS. I try for the over and under, then I realise that the Ferrari of HSV is there, so a very opportunistic move by HSV. And he's up to 2nd position, kartdude in the lead, and we're down to 3rd for the first time in the race. So we'll have to regroup, see where these guys are strong and weak. And moving on, we have some DRS here. HSV is going for the lead, kartdude is trying to defend for his life. We go between them, kartdude braked very early, almost surprising me there. He relinquishes P1, goes down to P3, but I'm going for 2 positions in 1. That's a big squeeze from the Ferrari. I did tell him I was hotspotting for this race with no internet, so I'm surprised he went for that, given he knew that I might be a bit more laggy than usual. Nevertheless, we got through unscathed and back into the lead. This is a hectic battle though, and lap 8 was no change, down the inside into the hairpin. Again, I leave him some space, go for the over and under. Would this be a similar squeeze? Not quite this time, but he has got his nose in front. So a slightly different second stance there. We try not to run into him, so I have to let off through there. Around the outside, is this going to work? I think better of it, and slot him behind the Ferrari driver. You'll note of course that kartdude is already pit. I think he pit at the end of lap 5. So this is now a battle for the win between HSV and I believe kartdude possibly on a lesser strategy at this point in the race. Down the inside we go, into the hairpin once again on lap 9, so that's a really popular overtaking destination on this track. Obviously the DRS zone there and the other DRS zone on the track, not really a good place to pass, given you're going to set yourself up to be overtaken into the 2nd DRS zone. Looking back, you can see just how attacking HSV is being in this race, far more aggressive than usual. It's a very good run through there though. He couldn't possibly think about going on the outside here, could he? Well, that was a very good move. Risky, yes, but I'm going to give that a highlight reel. I reckon that was pass of the season, I think, for the Ferrari driver. We're still right behind him though, and with DRS, this should be an easy maneuver. We have 67% though, so we could go 1 or 2 more laps possibly on this set of softs. You can see that we're down the inside well before the braking zone and back into the lead. So hopefully we're not losing too much time to kartdude, who will have been undercutting us in this period, but I believe he'll be going for an extra stop based on the way this race is panning out. We've got 73% there on the front left on lap 11, and a couple of corners later,
There's a puncture in the front left tyre has a puncture. We think there's a viable strategy change available to us. Would you like to keep to the current plan or try a new one?
is that going to spell disaster for this race? Does that mean our win streak is going to end? We have 5 in a row going into this race. Is that it?
Safety car deployed. The safety car has been deployed. Watch your delta. Make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack. We're considering switching to an alternate strategy. Do you want to change or stick to
Well, the race just got turned on its head. I needed to pit that lap anyway. We'd lost about 4 or 5 seconds to the lead. We could have caught that up, who knows, but that is a safety car for the crash of Danny 420, and now the race is reset. Danny rocks, and the other Ferrari is third. So I'm in a Ferrari sandwich at this point, but on different strategies, of course. Look at the tyre compound, softs again for HSV, and I want mediums. So how is this going to pan out? DRS allows us through on lap 15, kartdude now up to third, although he's fighting with Murph. They're both on soft compound tyres as well. So I'm the lone medium runner at this stage of the race. Lone fresh medium runner, I should say, because Danny Rocks did not pit onto that first safety car, only having around 40% wear at the time herself. So HSV back through once again, making overtake into turn 2, but as I said earlier, this sets you up to be overtaken down into the hairpin. That's exactly what I do on lap 16, and all this is letting kartdude catch back up. So kartdude now re-enters the fray as the third combatant for the win, and you'll see him popping up anytime soon. Here comes HSV though, and the other arrow is kartdude. He backs out of it though, perhaps wisely. So I stick it around the outside of the Ferrari driver. Can I stay there? It's going to be very close. He gets very good traction though. I have to start worrying about kartdude as well. Obviously these guys have better grip at this stage on their soft compound tyres. I maintain second through there though, perhaps a key part of not letting HSV get away. So we'll follow him for the meantime, and the next lap it's DRS time. Look at the tow we get. We're hardly even behind him. We go flying past. Once again, it's a lot of passes for lead. I haven't counted it, but I'm sure it's going to end up in double figures by the end of the race. It's another fastest lap for us there as we try and make a gap, but it's really not happening. You can see on the map several cars still within a shout of the race lead, and once again we see a flash of red as a prancing horse comes diving down the inside for the lead of the race. That's not what I want to hear, Jeff, especially as I'm in a massive battle for the lead, and down the inside we go, a very aggressive power move there. My first aggressive move of the race, I think. It was clean though, and kartdude and now HSV are fighting hard over second position.
Strategy change available to us. Would you like to keep to the current plan or try the new one? Safety car, no overtaking, reduce your pace.
Well, that changes everything. What do I put on here?
You'll be racing on the exit.
Soft compound tyres. We got 11 out of them last time before they punctured, so we're going a little bit further.
That's been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
A couple of things to note, the safety car only set up for 2 laps, so that really compromises my tyre wear. And the second thing to note is that we're third here, as Excalibur pitted at the right time before the safety car got in front of everyone, but he has to make another pit stop though because he's on super softs, and my teammate Murph did not pit at all on the safety car. So he's kind of made an error there, I'd say, but nevertheless he goes track position as we get past Excalibur there. We went a bit wide. Now Murph, here he is, letting a teammate through. Good teamwork once again from the McLaren boys. Now we really have to save the tyres. That's a key for the race. We set a fastest lap, but just look how slow I go through the right-hand corners. That front left I really need to keep in good shape. Hardly any throttle through there. And once again into the stadium you'll see I'm just backing off. That's why some cars were catching me in this stint, but I had enough of a lead to just back off and save the tyres. And they went further than they did in the first stint by quite a lot. And around the last corner we come to record a 6th victory in a row, and it's Hockenheim victory for McLaren. kartdude in second, although he had a penalty I believe, so HSV is promoted to that position. So on to the next round in Spa. See you guys then.